I was told to ask up here about rules about where we can't.
Yeah, there's a guy in this next booth over on the left.
Throws a strike. I write it down on my score sheet. I look up, and the next pitch is already in.
Catcher, Brennan Beasy.
Oh, what a treat, right? Not so much if you're outriver hitters, though. Here's Beasy, who struck out. His first at bat over 1, and we'll swing and miss at Hench's fastball. And 1 strike now here to Beasy.
Guys.
Here's a 3-2. Swing and a miss. Struck it out. Climb the ladder. And Beasy goes down swinging. Down. 9th strikeout for Hench. It had been a couple innings since his last strikeout.
It's time for another round of live local play-by-play coverage of Southwest Metro High School sports. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by the Mulch Store, Performance Therapy Innovations, Alpha Investment Advisors, The Tavern on 4 and 5, The Sun Current, Home Video Studio, and in partnership with BEC TV, Bloomington Educational Cable Television. Catch all of the action all season long on your home for Southwest Metro Sports, PSB Media. Game time is coming up next.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to Midway Stadium here in St. Paul as it's state tourney time as the Eden Prairie Eagles are searching for their third state championship in team history as they'll begin their quest here this afternoon against Robbinsdale Armstrong. Good afternoon, my name is Brett Johnson, joined alongside Kevin Hagstrom as we'll provide play-by-play of today's game. I do want to let you know that this will be audio only due to Minnesota State High School League restrictions, but we'll still provide you the play-by-play and also that game tracker screen, which will have balls, strikes, outs, the score, and perhaps even pitch count up as well. Should be a good matchup here between these two teams. Looking at Eden Prairie, they have an 18-6 record. Robbinsdale Armstrong checks in at 14-9. As both these teams kind of had a similar season where they both started a little bit slow but then got things going towards the midway part of the season. Kevin, it's interesting looking at their schedule just how, I guess, poorly these two teams played at the beginning of the season but then really got things going about midway through.
Well, Robbinsdale Armstrong in particular, at least the last 3 seasons now, has had some slow starts. Last year, able to finish right at 500, and this year take advantage of a very strong finish and great section performance in Section 6 to make it to their 4th state tournament. And I think just overall, you talk about slow starts and maybe looking back at the beginning of the season, how things were oriented for Eden Prairie. There was a lot of turnover from last year's senior-laden team. Every year they seem to be very senior-laden. Again, given the size of those classes over at the school, over 3,000 kids, you figure the best players are going to make the team, but also there's going to be some priority to those senior players, so it's hard to see 2 or 3 year starters at the varsity level for Eden Prairie. And I think some of the same sort of thing happened at Robbinsdale Armstrong as well. And as you look back, again, not to belabor the point too much, but it doesn't really matter how you start. It's trying to get your team in shape. If they are inexperienced at the varsity level, if they haven't necessarily played together in a couple of years, if some guys have been seniors when others were on the JV or sophomore teams, it can take some time to mesh, and we've seen, fortunately for both of these squads, that they were able to mesh at the right time.
Yeah, exactly. You're talking about how Eden Prairie's a team that had a lot of turnover. You wouldn't know it from looking at their roster with a lot of seniors. In fact, I had a chance to talk to Coach John Butine about that, and he said thinks the number of the seniors on his team actually makes it look like they have more experience than they do, but really Corey Binger and Dan Lotes are kind of those only third-year starters that they have, as they're kind of anchoring the number 1 and number 2 pitching spots. By the way, Corey Binger will be the starting pitcher tonight for Eden Prairie. But we'll go ahead and tell you more about that in just a couple of minutes. We're going to take a brief timeout, give you the lineups, and have first pitch on the way. This is high school baseball, the state tournament on PSB Media.
Now's the time to think green. Springtime lawns and savings. The Mulch Store is a great community resource for landscaping products and landscaping materials. Known for having the best compost in the Midwest, the Mulch Store can be found online at mulchstoremn.com. Browse and buy mulch, soils, grass seed, rocks, edging, and more. Everything you need to make your neighbors green with envy. mulchstoremn.com.
Store locations in Burnsville, Minnetrista, Rosemount, and Shakopee.
Guys, this is my cousin Raj.
Hey, boys, I just saved a ton of cash with my State Farm discount double check. So the brats are on me. Let's see.
Crazy dream.
Easy. You're going to wreck Bob's dream.
By the way, how's that sausage pillow?
Delicious Coach Dick.
Save with the discount double check today. Get to a better state. State Farm.
Shop and save with Brandy Warmbeer's State Farm Insurance Office in Eden Prairie, a local connection at a lower cost. BrandyWarmbeer.com. Stay current on what's going on in your local community. The Sun Current is a local community newspaper that serves several communities in the Southwest Metro, including Eden Prairie, Edina, and Bloomington. The Sun Current will keep you up to date with the latest comings and goings on your school board, city council, arts and entertainment, and community events. And make sure you check out their in-depth high school sports coverage featuring weekly articles on Eden Prairie, Edina, Jefferson, and Kennedy. From football and hockey to tennis and swimming, the Sun Current has your favorite team covered. Keep it local and visit the Sun Current website at current.mnsun.com.
Keep playing commercials till they're done with lineups so we can figure.
Woohoo! This is the best dirt bath ever!
Larry, what's with all that racket?
I'm loving my new digs. This compost is amazing. Come on in, give it a try.
What are you talking about? Oh yeah, you weren't kidding, Larry. This stuff is great.
The Mulch Store has compost your garden, and yes, even the worms will love. Stop by any of the Mulch Store locations in Burnsville, Minnetrista, Rosemount, and Shakopee to pick up the best compost in the Midwest. Online at mulchstoremn.com. Also shop rocks, seed, soil, edging, and more. Now's the time to make your neighbors green with envy.
Store locations in Burnsville, Minnetrista, Rosemount, and Shakopee. The playoffs are looming, and the impact of the regular season can take a toll on the body. At Performance Therapy Innovations, they can treat you or your Eagles for those nicks and ailments and help restore athletes physically and mentally for the most important time of the season. Performance Therapy Innovations will get you back to doing the things you love while minimizing your discomfort and maximizing your performance. Performance Therapy Innovations, helping Eagle athletes unleash their full potential. Located off Valley View Road and 169, online at pti-tc.com.
Get active this summer. I-9 Sports offers youth sports leagues, camps, and clinics for boys and girls ages 3 to 17 in today's most popular sports like flag football, soccer, basketball, t-ball, and cheerleading. At the end of the day, it's not the sports that makes the difference. It's the experience you and your child take away from the game. That's why I-9 Sports operates their leagues very differently from others. They operate on their 5 core principles: fun, being inclusive, safety, good sportsmanship, and healthy competition. Learn more at i9sports.com. It's every kid's favorite time of year. But for over 1,000 Eden Prairie kids, no school means missing the only...
Welcome back here to Midway Stadium in St. Paul. Live coverage of the state quarterfinals here on PSB, getting you set for first pitch. Let's go ahead and give you a rundown of the lineups. We will start with Robbinsdale Armstrong, who will be the road team and be batting first. Corey Gilbert will hit first. He's playing out in left field. And Josh Thorpe will hit second. He's at second base. Troy Olette will hit third. He's out in right field. A late switch here for Robbinsdale Armstrong. They originally had Mike Suzuki ready to play third base and bat cleanup, but they switched that at the last second. Instead, they have Matt Buckmeyer, hitting fourth. He's playing over at third base. Jack Wibben will be hitting fifth. He's in center field. Jordan Kuzina, the staff ace, will hit sixth. He's pitching. John Nelson, the DH, will hit seventh. Jake Lossner will hit eighth. He's playing over at first base. And Ricky Reed, the shortstop, will hit ninth for Armstrong. Giving you the Eden Prairie defensive lineup. Corey Binger, the staff ace, or I guess you'd probably call him co-staff ace with the types of numbers Dan Lotes has put up this season. But either way, Binger will be the starting pitcher here in this afternoon's game for the EP Eagles. Completing that pitcher-catcher battery will be Jack Clays catching. Jeff Athey, a lone sophomore on the roster, will be over at first base. Jake Wassenauer will be over at second base. Ryan Zimmerman at shortstop. And Michael Parrish over at third base. And finally giving you the outfield alignment here for Eden Prairie. Jack Sullivan in left field. Mark Gasner in center field. He took over for Logan Borgs, last year's center fielder. And then Matt Cheeseman, very good linebacker on the football team, will be over in right field for the EP Eagles. Again, running down the lineup for Armstrong. It'll be Gilbert, Thorpe, Olette, and Buckmeyer, Wibben, Kuznia, Nelson, Wassenauer, and then Ricky Reed batting 7, 8, 9. Earlier today we had Lakeville North getting past Brainerd 10-0, and then in the game that just took place before ours, we had Mountains View topping Elk River by a score of 4-0 as those two teams have advanced thus far here in the state tournament. We are about underway as Corey Gilbert will lead things off here for the Armstrong Falcons, giving you some numbers on Gilbert. Very good .341 batting average, a couple of RBIs on the season, and also a very good base stealer. 15 stolen bases on the season here for the Armstrong Falcons.
Also good on-base percentage with that high average. Walks a fair number as well. So a good table setter for this Falcons offense.
And Binger's first pitch is in there for a strike, hitting the outside corner. Here's the numbers for Corey Binger. 1.48 ERA, very good numbers. And has 49 strikeouts in just over 48 innings, so good numbers in that department as well, as Gilbert will foul one off. Count goes to 0-2. Cloudy day here at Midway Stadium. Game time temperature 61 degrees with winds out of the west-northwest at 16 miles an hour. The 0-2 pitch just outside from Corey Binger. Gilbert followed by Thorpe, then Ouellette. It's an Armstrong offense that likes to play small ball, according to their head coach, Brian Sobiek. That one's fouled back by Gilbert, will remain 1-2.
Mentioning the wind, it was really windy over in the western suburbs when I was downtown Minneapolis for lunch. I felt like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz being blown away.
The wind blowing here west-northwest means that we'll kind of go from left to right field here at the stadium, as Midway Stadium, at least center field, kind of faces the north side. Fouled off again by Gilbert. Still 1-2 in the count as got all sorts of sounds here at Midway Stadium as a train goes by in the outfield. Here's a delivery from Binger, and that one misses outside. That'll leave things up here at 2-2.
So far, a nice at-bat for the table setter by Armstrong, Corey Gilbert. He's fouled off a couple of outside pitches that he just didn't feel comfortable trying to put in play, hitting the big barrel of the bat out and just poking him toward his own dugout.
On one hop, it'll be gathered up by the second baseman for Eden Prairie, Jake Wassenauer. He'll throw out Gilbert as he's the first out here in the first inning. Now Josh Thorpe will step in here for the Armstrong Falcons, giving you some numbers on him. A very good .444 batting average, also 6 stolen bases, and a good RBI hitter as well. He has 12 on the season.
He's their best player in terms of the hitting core. He's also part of a group of guys that played in the Little League World Series in 2010, along with Wenzel and McDonough.
There's a pitch that's sliced out to right field, and it will just bounce foul as Matt Cheeseman was trying to track that down for Eden Prairie. Would have dropped in for a hit if it was fair, but instead it'll just be 0-1.
Good piece of hitting, trying to go other way on an outside pitch. Looped into the strike zone. Thorpe showing he can handle the bat well.
Thorpe, a right-handed hitter. Binger, a right-handed pitcher. As Binger will kick, deliver, and that one will glance off. It looked like the elbow here of Josh Thorpe as he'll be aboard for Armstrong's first base runner. Not sure what part of the body that hit him on, but it bounced right off like a wall.
I had a better angle. It hit right off the helmet.
Ouch. Well, that's why you wear the helmet, as the first base coach will make sure he's okay, but it looks like Thorpe is. So he'll be on base, and now it'll be the number 3 hitter, Troy Ouellette.
One way to get on base, and fortunately Thorpe seems to be okay. That fastball just got away from Binger, and no reaction time possible, going right up in above the eyebrows and hitting just above the left crown on the helmet.
Left-handed hitter Troy Ouellette steps in, shows bunt, pulls it back as Binger's fastball will miss inside for ball 1. Numbers on Troy Ouellette: 17 RBI on the season, also 19 runs scored, which is second on the team here for the Falcons. Binger's delivery, that one right down Broadway and in for a strike. They'll check the runner, will Jack Clays, not in time as Thorpe is back at first. Taking a look at stolen base numbers for Thorpe, 6 stolen bases, so a guy who can certainly be a threat on the base paths, and that's kind of the way that Armstrong plays, according to their coach Brian Sobiek. Not a real power-hitting team. They like to play small ball and put pressure on the opposing team's defense, as that one's fouled back and out of play.
You're mentioning the similarities between these two teams, the slower starts being one, and that's pretty much describing Eden Prairie to a T as well. I'd say the pitching rotation a little bit deeper for the Eagles than Armstrong, but also play small ball and rely on good defense to grit out victories.
1-2 the count to Troy Olette. Josh Thorpe, the runner, over at first base. Binger checks the runner, kicks, delivers, and there's a bouncer up the middle. It'll be fielded by Jordan Zimmerman. Gonna have to make a tough throw to first base. It won't be in time as the speedy Troy Olette gets down the line in time. That'll be an infield single here for the Armstrong Falcons as that one bounced way up into the air. Zimmerman, not a whole lot of time, wasn't able to make that throw.
Well, Zimmerman, I mean, every infielder is taught to come in on a chopper ground ball. He did come in, did his responsibility, but that ball was hit just so high into the air off home plate that he had to wait for that one, and pretty good speed down there, running down the line. Olette able to beat that one out for a hit.
Matt Bachmeyer will show bunt, pull it back, but it'll be a called strike here from Corey Binger to make the count 0-1. And Bachmeyer, a late addition to the lineup here for Robbinsdale Armstrong. .345 batting average. Also 20 RBI here for Robbinsdale Armstrong. Swing and a miss. Hold the string on that one. As now Bachmeyer is quickly behind 0-2.
Nice slider by Binger. Division I bound product. I like, Brett, how it seems like all these late conference talent goes to Nebraska Omaha for college ball.
Same with hockey, too. A couple of standout hockey players for Eden Prairie. Luke Snuggerud, Steven Spinner, playing in Nebraska Omaha.
Last year.
Called third. Oh, no. Umpire checking back over at first base. Almost looked like he was signaling for a called third strike. I was going to say that looked like it was way outside. But indeed, that's the case. 1-2.
Last year, I was saying, from Edina, Mitch Larson ended up going to Nebraska Omaha, pitcher and third baseman for the Hornets.
Like we said, he'll be joined by Corey Binger next season. Here's the 1-2 delivery, and that ball missed high and outside. A lot of fastballs thrown from Binger so far in this game. I think just a couple of off-speed pitches so far. Runners on first and second with one out here in the top of the first inning. Big situation here for Armstrong, as Coach Sobiek said it was important for his team to try to get an early lead. Breaking ball outside, and check over to the first base umpire. He went, strike three. Big strikeout there for Binger for out number 2.
And went with that same off-speed pitch, sliding away from the right-handed batter. And Bachmeyer just unable to hold up this time. Got the check in time on a previous pitch, but this time went around. A big out for Binger and the Eagles.
Now Jack Wibben will be in an RBI situation. Runners on first and second base. Again, shows bunt, but it'll be a called strike here from Binger. 3 straight hitters have done that, Kevin, here for the Falcons, showing bunt on that first pitch, but then pulling it back.
I'm not sure Eden Prairie is fooled in this situation. I don't know how beneficial it would be to bunt in this situation. The third baseman for the Eagles is playing right on the line.
Ground ball right up the middle, gathered up by Wassenauer as he'll flip it over to Zimmerman at second base, and that will be out number 3 as the Falcons are out here in the 5th inning as they get 1 hit and leave 2 runners on base after a half inning. We're scoreless from Midway Stadium.
It's every kid's favorite time of year. But for over 1,000 Eden Prairie kids, no school means missing the only consistent meal they may get all day. But one of our Eden Prairie nonprofits is changing that. Catherine Keeler of Prop tells us about their Summer Food for Kids program and how you can help.
The Summer Food for Kids program is a really important program that we have here. Did you know that 23% of the kids who attend schools here in Eden Prairie qualify for free or reduced price lunches? And during the summer, those kids are home. And so our program helps fill that gap and helps provide about 2 weeks' worth of groceries during the summer for those kids.
As for the types of foods Prop needs you to donate,
We got a grant that's helping us purchase a lot of perishable items, so fruits and vegetables and yogurts and cheeses and meats. But we need some help with some of those more non-perishable items. And the top 5 items we're looking for are canned chicken, canned tuna, mac and cheese, peanut butter, and canned pastas like canned ravioli.
and if you'd like to make a donation to the Summer Food for Kids program,
You can drop it off right here at Prop. We're at 14700 Martin Drive in Eden Prairie, and it's right off of Highway 5 and Mitchell Road.
again, that's the Prop Summer Food for Kids program. For more information, visit propfood.org.
Welcome back to Midway Stadium as we head to Eden Prairie's half here of the first inning. Let's go ahead and give you a rundown of their lineup once more. Zimmerman, Binger, and Clays will go 1, 2, 3. They'll be followed by Jack Sullivan, Jeff Athey, and Aaron Kerber, the 4, 5, 6 hitters. 7, 8, 9 will be Matt Cheeseman, Jake Wassenauer, and then Mark Parrish, who will hit 9th. Defensively here for the Armstrong Falcons, their pitcher will be Jordan Kuznia, staff ace here on this team, who has an ERA of, I believe, 148, so it'll be a tough cookie here to hit against. J.D. Weiss will be the catcher. Wassner will be over at first base for Armstrong. Thorpe at second. Reed over at shortstop. They'll also have Buckmeyer over at third base. Gilbert in left field. Wibben, I should say, in center field, and Ouellette in right field. There goes my handwriting, writing Weber instead of Wibben. So Jordan Zimmerman will lead off here for Eden Prairie. A very good batting average, 393. Also leads the team in runs scored with 17. And there's a called strike from Kuznia.
Yeah, Ryan Zimmerman on the season. Great slugging percentage along with that. Batting average near 400 with 12 doubles.
Lefty Kuznia will deliver high and outside for ball 1. Jordan Zimmerman, a right-handed hitter. Lefty Kuznia kicks, delivers, and he'll miss outside with that off-speed pitch. Another train about to go by here in Midway Stadium. Train tracks just outside the outfield, and fastball will miss high as it's ball 3 to Jordan Zimmerman. Have to see if Coach Butine will have him taking here on this pitch. Way outside from Kuznia. Not even close, as Jordan Zimmerman will be aboard with a 5-pitch walk.
Good patience.
Well, I don't need a lot of patience when you deliver about 2 feet outside.
Well, playing softball, at least I want to swing at those slow pitches, even if they're high and tight.
You're kind of like Kirby Puckett, where you want to swing at anything near the plate.
Yeah, or Vlad Guerrero or Adrian Beltre.
Corey Binger, the pitcher, will hit second here for EP, as that's called strike. Interesting, Corey Binger, also the staff ace on last year's team, but rarely played in the field, or was also rarely in the lineup as well, but this season primarily hitting second for Eden Prairie and has done a decent job with a .304 batting average. .364 on base percentage as well.
You're right. During the varsity baseball season, didn't get too many at-bats, but during Legion was the regular second baseman between starts.
Kuznia will check the runner over at first base. Taking a look at Ryan Zimmerman's stats in terms of stolen bases. This is an Eden Prairie team which doesn't do a whole lot of running. Zimmerman actually tied with the team lead with stolen bases, but only with 4. It's a little bit different than the Armstrong team, who have a couple of guys that are between about 8 and 15 stolen bases. One and one the count here from Kuznia. Lefty against righty. Here's a delivery to Corey Binger, as he'll hit that the other way out to right field. That'll hit the gap and be extra bases. Binger into second base. Checking in at third will be Zimmerman, and he's going to be waved around home. No play, and run number 1 is in for Eden Prairie. An RBI double for Corey Bringer, driving that the other way in the gap between right and center field, as it's 1-0 EP.
Nice piece of hitting by Binger, finding that alleyway right where the grass mode changes. You got the sequence, the patterns coming in toward home plate out in right field, and then the diamond-shaped mow job out in center field going to the gaps, and that's right where it fell, right along that line. And again, Binger able to find the gap to produce the first run of the game.
Taking a look at the outfield dimensions here at Midway Stadium as a little pitcher-catcher conference between Kuznia and Weiss. 320 out to left and right field, and 400 to straightaway center. I believe, Kevin, dimensions not quite as deep as Target Field, but still a decent-sized ballpark here for a minor league team. That one's right down Broadway for a strike to Jack Clays.
No, not quite the dimensions of Target Field, but certainly sizable, especially going toward left center to right center, and that 400-foot sign. Fence also is relatively high, certainly not what it is at Target Field, but taller than some other stadiums around the majors.
Off-speed pitch is up high for a ball as Binger, the runner at second base, already 1-0 here, Eden Prairie. Kuznia having some trouble with his control here in the first inning. Here's the 1-1 delivery. And a little bit late on that swing was Jack Clays as it's fouled away. Kuznia, a guy who has not given up many runs so far this season. In fact, that was only the 7th earned run he's given up so far.
Yeah, he's been outstanding to this point.
1-2 delivery on the way to Jack Clays. And he'll miss with that breaking ball outside. Taking a look at Kuznia's numbers again. 50 strikeouts in 39 innings pitched. Also pretty good control with only 11 walks in 39 innings, but did walk the leadoff man Zimmerman, who came around to score. That one's fouled as it bounces up into the air and actually hits Clays. Stay at 2-2. Well, here at Midway Stadium, Kevin's actually up in the press box. I'm down in the stands, and to me, Kevin, at least, it feels like the wind has really died down this afternoon. It was really blowing here this morning.
Yeah, that shouldn't affect the game as much now. I think it was coming, out of the west-northwest before?
Exactly. West-northwest at 16 miles an hour is what the official scorer had here at Midway Stadium, as Kuznia will again miss with a breaking ball. Counting all full, still nobody out with Binger, the runner, over at second base. Kuznia ready. Here's the pitch. And that one's fouled back by Clays.
Good at bat for the hockey player, baseball player, bound for Northwestern. He'll also join as a Eden Prairie Eagle, one of the former Edina Hornets players at Northwestern, Matt Hoffner, pitcher and outfielder for the Hornets last season.
3-2 delivery, call, third strike, breaking ball, just catching the outside corner. Good pitch from Kuznia. He needed that as it's out number 1.
That one froze Clays. It's a good pitch right on the outside edge, and Clays didn't even move the bat from off his shoulder.
A lot of breaking pitches from Kuznia and that at bat. That last one was able to find the zone for strike 3. Be another hockey player up here for the EP Eagles. This time it's Jack Sullivan. And that fastball will just miss inside. Numbers here from Jack Sullivan, 366. No home runs on the season, but does have 14 RBI. Sullivan late on that pitch as it's fouled back. and Sullivan, two guys who, again, played hockey for Eden Prairie and also racked up quite a few penalty minutes. Of course, in baseball, can't really do anything in terms of racking up infractions.
You just get ejected.
That's interesting, Kevin. You've called a lot more high school baseball than I have. Have you ever seen a guy ejected from a high school baseball game, player or manager?
I have not. I just don't think there's the same type of retaliation or aggression at this level. Unless there's Delman Young in the game or something.
That pitch was in for a strike. It's now evened up here at 2-2. A long inning here for Kuznia as all four hitters that he's faced have had some good plate appearances going deep in the counts. As that fastball missed inside, as it'll be a full count here to Jack Sullivan. Comes the payoff pitch. And Sullivan will just get a piece of it to stay alive. That breaking ball kind of outside again, but the right-hander Sullivan was able to just barely get a piece. One out, runner on second base. Delivery from Kuznia as Sullivan will hit a flare out to right field. And a diving catch made by the first baseman, Wasner. Kind of misplayed it, had to awkwardly backpedal and fell down and made the catch. What a job by the first baseman.
Yeah, great backhanded stab. Tumbled, going from right to left. Came back across his body, able to make the catch as he fell down into the grass. It didn't even seem like he had a play on the ball initially, but that ball kept flaring downward back toward him. And a great play by the infielder.
It looked like he initially misread it as well, because as he said, he kind of took a tumble to make that catch. As now time is called here from the umpire. Jeff Athey now the hitter for the Eagles. Lefty against lefty matchup. And Kuznia will step off the rubber. Try to keep Binger close over at second base. That one will be fouled out to left field from Jeff Athey. This will be the last season they'll be playing, I believe, at this version of Midway Stadium, as the Saints will actually be moving to downtown St. Paul coming up next year. We'll have a new stadium being built.
Is that stadium project on schedule right now?
I believe so, if I remember correctly. That fastball was in the dirt. Catcher Weiss had some trouble with it, and that will allow Corey Binger to move on over to third base. Unless, Kevin, you know something about that new ballpark, I don't.
I just know initially they got in the budget last year or the year before, they got, I think, $25 million put toward the stadium, and then I know there was, during the legislative shutdown, then there was some complaints about what exactly was going to be done with the money.
Driven out to left field, but camping under it to make the catch is Gilbert, and that will be out number 3. 1 run for the Eagles on 1 hit as they leave one man stranded. After 1 complete, it's 1-0 EP over Armstrong here on PSB Media.
Woohoo! This is the best dirt bath ever!
Larry, what's with all that racket?
I'm loving my new digs. This compost is amazing. Come on in, give it a try.
What are you talking about? Oh yeah, you weren't kidding, Larry. This stuff is great.
The Mulch Store has compost your garden, and yes, even the worms will love. Stop by any of the Mulch Store locations in Burnsville, Minnetrista, Rosemount, and Shakopee to pick up the best compost in the Midwest. online at mulchstoremn.com. Also shop rocks, seed, soil, edging, and more. Now's the time to make your neighbors green with envy.
Store locations in Burnsville, Minnetrista, Rosemount, and Shakopee.
Reggie, why aren't you eating?
Like these insurance bills are so high, I've lost my appetite. I am freaking out.
Mysteriously high rates can be stressful. Switch to State Farm for discounts up to 40%. Get to a groovier state.
Shop and save with Brandy Warmbeer's State Farm Insurance Office in Eden Prairie, a local connection at a lower cost. BrandyWarmbeer.com. Get active this summer. I-9 Sports offers youth sports leagues, camps, and clinics for boys and girls ages 3 to 17 in today's most popular sports like flag football, soccer, basketball, t-ball, and cheerleading. At the end of the day, it's not the sports that makes the difference. It's the experience you and your child take away from the game. That's why I-9 Sports operates their leagues very differently from others. They operate on their 5 core principles: fun, being inclusive, safety, good sportsmanship, and healthy competition. Learn more at i9sports.com.
It's underway here in the top of the second inning as Corey Binger's pitch will miss outside to Jordan Kuznia, who's hitting here for the Falcons. Pitcher against pitcher matchup. As the left-handed hitter Kuznia will watch a fastball buzz the outside corner of the plate. Kuznia, Nelson, and Wasner will be the hitters for Armstrong here in this inning, the 6, 7, and 8 hitters. Falcons were able to get a couple of runners aboard last inning, but couldn't bring anybody around as that one skied a mile into the air to the infield as Ryan Zimmerman will step on over and make the catch. Kevin, I think I was calling him Jordan Zimmerman for some reason, wasn't I?
Well, you're just getting confused with the starting pitcher for the Nationals as opposed to their third
I was wondering
baseman.
where I was pulling Jordan Zimmerman from.
You're still thinking about the Nationals.
Yeah, that's right. You and I were joking before the game how a lot of these players on both squads both have the last names of current and former Major League players, so I guess you threw me off. Eden Prairie, as Ryan Zimmerman, shares the exact same name as the Washington Nationals third baseman. Binger's fastball is in there for a strike to John Nelson, the DH.
It's too bad he doesn't play third base, right?
Exactly. That'll throw me off even more. Well, he's close. He's on the correct side of the infield, being a shortstop. There's a bouncer up the middle. Wassenauer makes the play, and they'll bounce it over to Jeff Athey, who can't quite scoop that up. And that should be an error against the second baseman, Wassenauer, as he was able to gather it up in time, but just kind of bounced that throw over to Athey.
Yeah, he had more time than he thought. Wassenauer had made the play on 2 hops, kind of roamed to his left, and then made a throw across his body. He could have stopped, planted his feet, and made a stronger throw. Had some time, but in rushing it, made the mistake.
And Wasner will hook one down the right field line. Trying for third base is Nelson, and he'll be in safely. So a first to third hit for Wasner as the Falcons are in business with runners on the corners and just one out.
Good piece of hitting. Athey had to play on the bag, to honor the base runner at first base. And that's basically where the ball was chopped through, that right side of the infield by Wasner. And now Falcons are threatening for the first time in the top of the second.
Number 9 hitter Ricky Reed, the shortstop, will be up here for Armstrong. And they've shown bunt a few times in this game. We'll have to see if they perhaps try a suicide squeeze, but not showing bunt on that one as it's a called strike to Ricky Reed. Binger, a very good strikeout pitcher. Again, averages about 1 strikeout per inning and can certainly use one now. Eden Prairie infield playing a double play depth. And Ricky Reed did show bunt. Now they're going to throw back to third base. They would have had the play if Parrish would have been able to catch that, but instead they'll be safe over at third base. Well, John Nelson, as it looked like the throw from Jack Flay's kind of short-hopped Michael Parrish, but again, they would have been out with a better throw. So 1-1 will be the count. 1 out, runners on first and third. Binger with a long look in will check both runners. Here's the delivery, and they'll show bunt, get it down. Binger will make the play over to first base, can't throw home. So a little bunt play works out for the Falcons as they tie this game up at 1.
Yeah, the bunt was perfectly executed. Binger looked home, but realized it was not an option to go down there. And got the secure out at first base. Excellent sacrifice bunt there by Ricky Reed.
Did that on a 1-1 count. Yeah, like you said, a well-placed bunt. Binger, I think, wisely decided not to throw home on that one. Took the out, but this game's knotted up at 1. They'll have a runner on second base with 2 outs, and now they'll try to steal third base. He's going to be thrown out, though, by Jack Clays as Wasner's gunned down, and that'll do it for Armstrong here in the top of the second inning. 1 hit, 1 run after an inning and a half. This game's knotted up at 1 here on PSB Media.
It's every kid's favorite time of year. But for over 1,000 Eden Prairie kids, no school means missing the only consistent meal they may get all day. But one of our Eden Prairie nonprofits is changing that. Catherine Keeler of Prop tells us about their Summer Food for Kids program and how you can help.
The Summer Food for Kids program is a really important program that we have here. Did you know that 23% of the kids who attend schools here in Eden Prairie qualify for free or reduced price lunches? And during the summer, those kids are home. And so our program helps fill that gap and helps provide about 2 weeks' worth of groceries during the summer for those kids.
As for the types of foods Prop needs you to donate,
we got a grant that's helping us purchase a lot of perishable items, so fruits and vegetables and yogurts and cheeses and meats. But we need some help with some of those more non-perishable items. And the top 5 items we're looking for are canned chicken, canned tuna, mac and cheese, peanut butter, and canned pastas like canned ravioli.
And if you'd like to make a donation to the Summer Food for Kids program,
you can drop it off right here at Prop. We're at 14700 Martin Drive in Eden Prairie, and it's right off of Highway 5 and Mitchell Road.
Again, that's the Prop Summer Food for Kids program. For more information, visit propfood.org.
Back to Midway Stadium as Aaron Kerber will lead things off as that fastball finds the inside corner from Kuznia. Make it 0-1. Kerber fooled on that breaking ball as he's quickly behind 0-2. Reminder, you can email us here in the broadcast booth. We're at psbchannel2@gmail.com, or you can click on the button right on your game tracker screen. As it's a ground ball the other way, it'll find the hole for a base hit for Aaron Kerber as we'll have a leadoff single here for the Eagles as neither Wasner nor Thorpe could dive over and make that play in time. Matt Cheeseman will step in here for the EP Eagles. Cheeseman, a very good linebacker on Eden Prairie's championship football team. Hit .306 on the season. Had 6 extra base hits. As that fastball will miss high for ball 1. Cheeseman, a right-handed hitter. Again, Kuznia, the lefty. Here's the 1-0 pitch. And that one sliced foul. To remind you that today's game is brought to you by the Mulch Store. Now that we're in summer, it's time to get your landscaping all put together, as the Mulch Store has the best compost you'll find in the entire Midwest. Locations all over the metro area, swung on and missed by Matt Cheeseman. They can also deliver as well if you'd like. Find more information, mulchstoremn.com, mulchstoremn.com, for that best compost you'll find in the Midwest. Slow breaking ball, almost an eephus pitch, but will miss outside for ball 2.
Looks like Midway Stadium could use some Mulch Store compost. The grass is already graying and getting all patchy.
There's a fastball blown past Matt Cheeseman. As Kuznia doing a good job mixing up his pitches. I would say he's been throwing that fastball probably less than half the time, but can certainly get some gas behind that when he needs it, as he was able to strike out Cheeseman for out number 1. Jake Wassenauer will step on in here for Eden Prairie, the number 8 hitter. Again, Aaron Kerber still the runner over at first base. Wassenauer, a guy who can also occasionally pitch for Eden Prairie. Guess you would probably call him the number 4 starter on last year's Eden Prairie American Legion team. Pitch missed outside from Kuznia. And the 1-0 fastball misses way up high for ball 2. Josh Wassenauer, 191 batting average, but does have a decent on-base percentage, 309, as he has walked 8 times on the season. Here's the 2-0 pitch, and that fastball will miss high and outside again. 3-0 now the count. And Kuznia doesn't walk a whole lot of hitters, just 11. A little over 49 innings of work. 3-0 fastball right down the middle for strike 1.
Prairie getting their leadoff batter on to start this game in the first and second.
And that fastball will again miss way up high for ball 4. As now the Eagles have a threat put together with Kerber over at second base. Matt Cheeseman. Wassenauer over at first. And now Michael Parrish will hit here for Eden Prairie. We'll have a look over at the third base coach. In the nature of high school baseball, with these new bats they went to a few years ago, not out of the ordinary to see a team bunt with runners on first and second and 1 out. Certainly something you wouldn't see in Major League Baseball, but you do see it a lot in high school, especially with a number 8 or number 9 hitter. And that's the case with Parrish here, the 9th hitter for the Eagles in their lineup this afternoon. Kuznia's fastball missed up high again. A storyline so far in the inning, as he'll deliver the 1-0 pitch, and again misses up high, 2-0.
So far, as you've described, he's missing a lot high and a lot away so far. The staff ace for the Falcons is laboring a little bit, and now we have a team meeting at the mounds. All the infielders, catcher, and head coach out to talk to Kuznia.
Must have all been fastballs that he's been missing up high. He's had decent control of his breaking ball, and prior to the last 2 hitters that he's faced, he had been throwing a lot of breaking balls. In fact, I would say he had been throwing breaking balls over half the time, but he's been trying to go to that fastball here against Parrish, and also tried that against Wassenauer.
When your fastball, though, you can't get going straight, you can't locate it, then it can turn into trouble real fast for any pitcher.
Here's the 2-0 pitch you would think Parrish would probably be taking, and he indeed is, as Kuznia able to lower that fastball and put it right down the middle for strike 1. Runners on first and second, 1 out. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Michael Parrish, the third baseman, as he just gets a piece and fouls that one straight back. Again, Parrish, only a 191 batting average, but has walked a number of times to make that on-base percentage look pretty good at 309. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and that one will hit. Parrish. It's interesting, he almost missed Parrish threw behind Parrish and missed him, but just got a piece of the jersey of Parrish as that'll load the bases up.
Just telling you and the listeners, there's no retaliation in baseball at high school level, at least that I've seen. That might have been it. Just kidding.
Yeah, right.
The control was just that off.
Like I was saying, he almost missed Parrish altogether by throwing it so far inside.
Like the Randy Johnson to Larry Walker pitch in the 97 All-Star game. Or Walker then put the helmet on backwards and batted right-handed.
It's funny, you'll probably never see that again with the All-Star game.
Counting, as they call it.
That last pitch was swung on and missed to Jordan Zimmerman. And the 0-1 pitch was a breaking ball down on the dirt. Good block there by J.D. Weiss.
You're getting confused again.
1-1 delivery on the way to Ryan Zimmerman as that one skied a mile in the air just beyond the infield dirt. In fact, the right fielder, Millette, will come in and make the catch. No chance for the runner to tag at third base, so bases will remain loaded here with 2 outs. As that was Ryan Zimmerman that made the out. Again, I called him Jordan Zimmerman again, didn't I?
You did. I'm keeping tabs on what you're calling these guys. I've got to vet you. It was a squandered opportunity there. That pitch was out over the plate. Zimmerman just got under it. Skied it to very shallow right field and no opportunity for the lead runner, Kerber, to try to tag and score.
Bases loaded, 2 outs. Corey Binger, the hitter, who was aboard by a double last inning. In fact, he had the RBI for Eden Prairie. Another train goes by and honks the horn. Wouldn't that be the worst if you're trying to deliver a pitch and the train horn goes?
Yes.
The 0-1 pitch, from Kuzny. A Binger goes the other way, but a great diving catch made by Wasner. And that'll do it here for Eden Prairie as Binger lines out after a tremendous play by Wasner. I thought for sure that one was going to be poked out to right field. That'll do it, though, for Eden Prairie as they leave the bases loaded. And after 2 innings, we're knotted up at 1 here on PSB.
Randy, why aren't you eating?
Like these insurance bills are so high, I've lost my appetite. I am freaking out.
Mysteriously high rates can be stressful. Switch to State Farm for discounts up to 40%. Get to a groovier state.
Shop and save with Brandy Warmbeer's State Farm Insurance Office in Eden Prairie. A local connection at a lower cost. BrandyWarmbeer.com.
That time, that's what makes it worse. So I was sitting there thinking for a second, saying, why was I messed up?
The Sun Current is proud to be your community news leader for over 50 years. Each week you can read their in-depth coverage on local government, school district news, high school sports matchups, community events, and newsmakers. The Sun Current's website is now mobile user-friendly and provides breaking local news coverage daily. Check it out at current.mnsun.com. Now's the time to think green. Springtime Lawns and Savings. The Mulch Store is a great community resource for landscaping products and landscaping materials. Known for having the best compost in the Midwest, the Mulch Store can be found online at mulchstoremn.com. Browse and buy mulch, soils, grass seed, rocks, edging, and more. Everything you need to make your neighbors green with envy. mulchstoremn.com.
Store locations in Burnsville, Minnetrista, Rosemount, and Shakopee.
Here on PSB Media, knotted up at 1 as we go to the 3rd inning. It'll be the top of the order here for the Armstrong Falcons. Gilbert shows bunt, pulls back his bat, then takes a cut at it, but comes up late on that fastball, 0-1.
If he had caught up with that fastball, I'd be impressed, considering all the different decisions he made between delivery from the mound to home plate.
He went from bunt to take to swing, all on the same pitch.
Yeah. And that was a fastball thrown by Binger, too. I don't know if that's a slight to Binger's fastball or what.
Well, Binger's got a good fastball, according to Justin Musel at Elite Sports Advising. He, I believe, is usually clocked around 88, 89 miles an hour on that fastball. Count now works to 1-2 here against Gilbert.
So you're telling me he throws harder than Nick Blackburn?
And a beautiful pitch from Corey Binger to paint the black on that outside corner. Nothing Gilbert could do. That was just a great pitch. And that'll be out number 1 here in the third.
Second baseman Josh Thorpe.
Josh Thorpe will step in for Armstrong. He was hit in the head during his last at-bat. Binger's delivery right down Broadway for a strike. Kevin, you were talking about Nick Blackburn. He always seems to be your favorite Twins pitcher, even though he hasn't pitched for him in, 2 or 3 years.
Oh, I'm glad he hasn't pitched in a while.
He's kind of been supplanted by either Kevin Correa or Mike Pelfrey.
Does Pelfrey even play for the team anymore? Or is he hurt?
He just had, I guess not quite season-ending surgery, but he's out 2 to 4 months with another elbow issue. But essentially, he's out for the year if he's 2 to 4 months
and
at this point.
is that considered a positive or a negative for Ron Gardenhire and management?
I'd probably say a positive at this point when your ERA's 7.99. The 1-2 pitches bounce to the second baseman, Wassenauer, as he's able to throw out Thorpe for out number 2.
Right to Troy Olette.
So Binger, after a little bit of struggles, labored in the first with more than 20 pitches, and then in the second inning gave up the game-tying run. Here has done a nice job retiring the 2 most potent bats in terms of average.
Well, through 2 innings, we have yet to see a 1-2-3 inning. We'll have a chance here coming up with both Gilbert and Thorpe striking out and then grounding out. Now it'll be Troy Olette coming up to the plate here for Armstrong after he has a conversation with the third base coach.
Parrish playing very near the grass at third base.
Take a hack at that first pitch and will bounce it foul down the first baseline. And you wonder if that's because just about every Armstrong hitter, it seemed like, has shown bunt at least at some point during their at-bats. And a high chopper that'll bounce off the plate, fielded by Zimmerman. Throw in time as he's able to get Olette by 1 step. And that'll do it here for the Falcons as they're down 1, 2, 3. Take a timeout. This is state tournament coverage here on PSB Media.
It's every kid's favorite time of year. But for over 1,000 Eden Prairie kids, no school means missing the only consistent meal they may get all day. But one of our Eden Prairie nonprofits is changing that. Catherine Keeler of Prop tells us about their Summer Food for Kids program and how you can help.
The Summer Food for Kids program is a really important program that we have here. Did you know that 23% of the kids who attend schools here in Eden Prairie qualify for free or reduced price lunches? And during the summer, those kids are home. And so our program helps fill that gap and helps provide about 2 weeks' worth of groceries during the summer for those kids.
As for the types of foods Prop needs you to donate,
we got a grant that's helping us purchase a lot of perishable items, so fruits and vegetables and yogurts, and cheeses and meats. But we need some help with some of those more non-perishable items. And the top 5 items we're looking for are canned chicken, canned tuna, mac and cheese, peanut butter, and canned pastas like canned raviolis.
and if you'd like to make a donation to the Summer Food for Kids program,
You can drop it off right here at Prop. We're at 14700 Martin Drive in Eden Prairie, and it's right off of Highway 5 and Mitchell Road.
again, that's the Prop Summer Food for Kids program. For more information, visit propfood.org.
Welcome back here to Midway Stadium as we head to the bottom of the third inning. Middle of the order here for Eden Prairie with Jack Clays, Jack Sullivan, and Jeff Athey. Clays struck out looking at his first at-bat as Kuznia delivers and will miss inside with a fastball. Again, if you'd like to email us in the broadcast booth, psbchannel2@gmail.com. Or you can find a link just below your game tracker screen. You can also follow us on Twitter at PSBMN. Fouled back by Jack Clays to even things up here at 1. Kuznia looks in. Here's the pitch. And that one's hooked out to left field. It'll drop in front of Gilbert for a base hit. Good piece of hitting there from Jack Clays as he's aboard to lead things off. Third straight inning that Eden Prairie has had their leadoff man aboard.
Kuznia, after loading the bases in that bottom half of the second inning, had the mound meeting with his head coach as well as all the infielders and seemed to settle in there. It also took a fantastic outstretched line drive catch by Wassner to save him from allowing any runs in that inning, but since that time it seems like he's a little bit more comfortable.
Jack Sullivan will step in for EP. Yeah, again, going back to that second inning, the Eagles had the bases loaded with Corey Binger at the plate as Binger lined one towards opposite field, but as you said, Kevin, Wassner with a tremendous play. As you said, it looked like he really got a good jump on that line drive. And up the middle, it'll be a base hit just out of the reach of the second baseman, Thorpe. And trying to check in at third base will be the runner, Jack Clays, and he's in safely. Jack Sullivan will advance to second base as he's pumped up as he has a little fist bump there. Runners on second and third with nobody out here in the bottom of the third. As again, Kuznia is going to have to try to work out of some more trouble.
Well, that line drive, that was similar to the line drive Binger hit, but Thorpe unable to make the play. Went, looks like almost right underneath his forearm as he maybe overstretched for that ball, hit up the middle. Great base running then by Sullivan as the throw went off the line toward third base to try to cut down Clays. Sullivan advanced to second.
And there's a base hit out to right field from Jeff Athey. One run comes in to score. And it's Jack Clays as the Eagles take a 1-0 lead. A lot of early swings in the count here from Eden Prairie in this third inning. Second time through the order, and perhaps seeing something here from Kuznia that they like.
I just want to seem like he was getting his confidence back. A couple hard-hit balls back-to-back from Sullivan and then Athey.
Importantly, too, two of those hits were pulled. And, of course, the hit from Sullivan was a line drive right up the middle, so 3 hard-hit line drives. As that will be Aaron Kerber up at the plate. He, of course, had a couple of broadcasts of Eden Prairie baseball earlier this spring as we were actually able to catch Aaron Kerber's lone home run this season that he hit against Minnetonka. It was a blast way out to left field. Kerber way late on that fastball as he's behind 0-1. As a team, the Eagles only hit 4 home runs on the season. Not a whole lot of power from Armstrong either. They've hit just 3 homers on the year. Runners on first and third, nobody out, as that'll be driven out to center field, as it'll go over the head of Libin. 1 run comes in to score for Eden Prairie. They're going to try to get a second guy in. He'll be in safely. It'll be a triple for Aaron Kerber. Just pure power there from the Eden Prairie DH, hitting it over the head of Josh Libin out there in center field. It's an RBI triple.
That one was hit a long way. Found the sweet part of the bat. Opposite field, showing off his strength. There's a lot of distance to roam out in center field. Wibben gave quite a chase, but just could not catch up to that long fly ball. Again, great base running by Kerber to get a leg out a triple and score 2 more runs for the Eagles.
It was prior to that pitch we were talking about Kerber's power, and I think there's a pretty good chance that would have been a home run at Round Lake Stadium. Right center field here at Midway Stadium's awfully deep. Kerber was able to drive that over the head of Wibben.
Not quite Ben Revere fast. Attempt to leg out inside the park home run.
He'll be at third base here with nobody out. Eagles now have opened up a 4-1 lead here against the Armstrong Falcons.
And still nobody out in this inning either.
already against Kuznia, and that's impressive because coming into the game, Kuznia had only given up 7 total runs in just under 50 innings of work. Foul ball was bounced down the third base line. Count now 1-2 to Matt Cheeseman, the right fielder here for the Eagles. Able to get a piece of that one to foul it back.
Brett, you think hitting is contagious? 4 consecutive base hits?
Importantly, too, 4 hard base hits as well. And that'll be a ground ball knocked down by the third baseman, Buckmeyer. He'll make the play over to first base, but coming in to score will be Aaron Kerber, as it's now 5-1 Eden Prairie. That was a heck of a job by Buckmeyer to at least knock down that ball and prevent another base hit.
Yeah, Buckmeyer playing in right on the grass, trying to, with a more sharply hit ground ball and a cleaner field job, to run or gun down the runner trying to score. Had a tough time picking up the ball after he knocked it down, and his first baseman was off the bag. All sorts of waiting. They were fortunate enough to get Cheeseman, who ran not quite as fast down the line as some of these other guys with better speed.
Jake Lossenauer late on that fastball as he's quickly behind 0-2. 4 runs so far this inning on 4 hits. And a called third strike for out number 2. Good morning, good afternoon, good night to Josh Lossenauer.
Third baseman Michael Parrish.
So Michael Parrish will step in here for Eden Prairie. Parrish hit by a pitch in his first at-bat as he comes up tardy on that fastball. 0-1 the count. Slow breaking ball just goes around the plate for ball 1.
Looking out in right center, Brett, there's a sign that says, "Take me to Regions Hospital." I don't know that I'd want to go to Regions Hospital unless there's an absolute need. Feels like everybody should just go hang out there based on that sign.
I kind of find it funny you said that, as that pitch nearly hit Michael Parrish. Just missed him as the count is now 2-1. Good pitch there from Kuznia, had Parrish fooled on that breaking ball that was in the dirt. 2-2 now the count.
It's been the fastball that Kuznia struggled with.
Done an okay job with the breaking ball, and he's been able to fool the Eden Prairie hitters a number of times. Count now full 3-2, and you have to wonder if he might go to that a little bit more. Able to get strike 3, as that'll do it here for Eden Prairie in the third inning, but they do a lot of damage, scoring 4 runs on 4 hits. They don't leave anybody on base. And after 3 complete, the Eagles have opened up a 5-1 lead here on PSB Media.
Woohoo! This is the best dirt bath ever!
Larry, what's with all that racket?
I'm loving my new digs. This compost is amazing. Come on in, give it a try.
What are you talking about? Oh yeah, you weren't kidding, Larry. This stuff is great.
The Mulch Store has compost your garden, and yes, even the worms will love. Stop by any of the Mulch Store locations in Burnsville, Minnetrista, Rosemount, and Shakopee to pick up the best compost in the Midwest. Online at mulchstoremn.com. Also shop rocks, seed, soil, edging, and more. Now's the time to make your neighbors green with envy.
Store locations in Burnsville, Minnetrista, Rosemount, and
Randy, why aren't you eating?
Like these insurance bills are so high, I've lost my appetite. I am freaking out.
Mysteriously high rates can be stressful. Switch to State Farm for discounts up to 40%. Get to a groovier state.
Shop and save with Brandy Warmbeer's State Farm Insurance Office in Eden Prairie, a local connection at a lower cost. BrandyWarmbeer.com. Get active this summer. I-9 Sports offers youth sports leagues, camps, and clinics for boys and girls ages 3 to 17 in today's most popular sports like flag football, soccer, basketball, t-ball, and cheerleading. At the end of the day, it's not the sports that makes the difference. It's the experience you and your child take away from the game. That's why I-9 Sports operates their leagues very differently from others. They operate on their 5 5 core principles: fun, being inclusive, safety, good sportsmanship, and healthy competition. Learn more at i9sports.com.
Will lead off for Robbinsdale Armstrong as Corey Binger will miss inside for ball 1. I'd like to remind you that Prop has their Summer Food for Kids program going on right now. As I was able to speak with the director of Prop a little while ago, their marketing director, as she mentioned a stat that I wasn't aware of. 23% of students in Eden Prairie schools are actually on free and reduced price lunch. Of course, when those kids are home for the summer, they sometimes will end up missing the only healthy meal they may get all day. So Prop tries to fill that gap during the summertime by using their Summer Foods for Kids program, and they're taking donations right now. 3-0 the count here to Bachmeyer. That fastball in there for a strike, 3-1. Looking for donations at Prop for their Summer Food for Kids program, again to help those children who are home for the summer and are from families that have some trouble getting food, as that's ball 4 to Bachmeyer. Find more information at propfood.org. Propfood.org, a great program they have taking place currently.
First time the Falcons will have their leadoff runner aboard. So far, the leadoff runner has scored in 2 of the 3 previous instances.
Jack Wibben will be the hitter for the Falcons, already showing bunt, but pulls it back and takes it for a strike. Unlike, I believe it was Gilbert, decided not to take a hack at that after pulling back his bunt. I'm still getting a kick out of that. A 0-1 delivery from Corey Binger as he'll miss inside for ball 1. Bachmeyer over at first base for Armstrong. 2 stolen bases on the season, so not a real big threat in terms of speed. And there's a line drive out to center field that will drop in for a base hit as the Falcons are in business here trying to get back in this ball game. With runners on first and second with nobody out.
I think that's one of the key attributes that has made this team so successful this season. Head coach Brian Sobiek talking to him before the game, before the state tournament began. The resiliency was one of the key words he used to describe this team, and they were able to answer in the top of the second after Eden Prairie scored a run, and here, off to a fantastic start now. At least 2 base runners aboard with nobody out in the 3rd or 4th inning, rather, after they gave up 4 runs in the 3rd.
Resiliency, certainly a word to describe Armstrong. As you said, Binger's fastball was up high for ball 1. Had a team meeting after their 1-6 start to try to straighten things out. As Coach Sobiek said, they talked about what had made previous Armstrong teams successful. They've had 3 previous state tournament teams, and they were able to turn things around and on a big winning streak midway through the season. Driven out to right field, it'll go over the head of Matt Cheeseman. 1 run will come in to score for Armstrong, and they'll hold up Jack Wibben, so it'll be runners on second and third base. Nobody out, and it's now 5-2.
Yeah, great piece of hitting there. Kuznia able to drive that one, Wibben able to drive that one. Kuznia able to drive that one over the head of Cheeseman, and I actually thought Wibben could have scored on that. The ball got loose from the 2 middle infielders by the Eagles, but Sobiek being very conservative with Wibben at third base. The ball was trickling near nobody right at shortstop. It might have been a close play, Brett. I don't know what your thoughts were, but
well, that's what, I was going to say that's what I was thinking as I was trying to describe what was happening. I was ready to say here comes a second run, but I decided to hold up Wibben. I suppose not a bad idea here with runners on second and third base and nobody out. Mike Arnost, by the way, will be the courtesy runner over at second base for Kuznia, but key is to make that pay off. Got to be able to get in Wibben from third base. John Nelson will be the hitter for Armstrong. He reached on an error by the second baseman, Wassenauer, back in the second. Here's the 1-0 delivery from Corey Binger. Again, the Falcons showing bunt, but Nelson pulls it back. And was called a strike, 1-1.
Might be a little premature at this point in this inning, but I think the coaches said they're almost mirror images of each other. We had the first 4 runners reach on base hits for the Eagles last half, and now the first 3 on base hits and a walk in this inning.
And of course, also including a hit that went over the head of an outfielder. It was Kuznia who drove it over the head of Matt Cheeseman to get the RBI just a moment ago. Just like it was Aaron Kerber of Eden Prairie who drove one over the head of the Robbinsdale Armstrong center fielder to score 2 runs for the Eagles. So I suppose if they're mirror images, that would mean Nelson would get a hit. That pitch misses outside, 2-2.
A little bit better odds now that the count is even as opposed to being down.
5-2 our score. Runners on second and third. Nobody out. Here's the 2-2 pitch from Corey Binger. Good job by Nelson to get a piece. As we'll do it again.
Nelson on this season is a tough strikeout. Just 1 K in 29 at-bats coming into this state tournament.
Showing why as he fouled off a tough pitch from Binger, and then prior to that pitch, looked at a close one. It was just missed outside. There's a flare to center field. It'll drop just in front of Gasner for a base hit. 1 run comes in to score as Arnas, the courtesy runner, will check in at third base.
Well, there
so it's
you go.
5-3 as Kevin predicted. 4 straight base runners for Armstrong, just like Eden Prairie did back in the bottom half of the third inning.
How do you like that? Mirror images indeed. Just the score is the only difference at this point.
Got to send you to Vegas with your predictions. Or I guess that would be Brian Sobiek we would send to Vegas saying they're mirror images of each other.
Somebody gets the credit. I don't know that I need to take it.
Speaking of credit, I'll give credit to Armstrong as they've put 3 earned runs up against Corey Binger, as he's a guy who had a 1.48 ERA coming into this game, as he had a dominant performance against New Prague in the Section 2 championship, shutting down what was the number 9 rated team in the state. Mr. Binger's run into some trouble here today, giving up so far 3 runs as we're in the 4th inning with nobody out and still a threat put together with runners on first and third base.
Given the state tournament atmosphere, playing potentially 3 games in 3 days, and also the talent of Corey Binger, his ability to bounce back in similar situations, nobody warming up in the pen, although just as I say that, it looks like a guy's wandering out there along the right field bleachers, so maybe I spoke a little too soon.
That's Joe Fanning going out there to warm up for Eden Prairie. Excellent reliever, 0.59 ERA and just over 15 innings of work for the Eagles. Up at the plate for Armstrong will be Jake Wasner, as Binger will miss for ball 1.
Binger just hasn't looked like his usual self, particularly in this inning. And I'm not just saying that because there's been 4 consecutive base runners, just his demeanor out on the mound, too.
Well, it's interesting, as that one will actually be bunted straight back for a foul ball. Count goes to 1-1. Kevin, I remember during the American Legion season, we had a chance to see Binger a number of times, and it seemed like whenever he was working really slow, he ran into trouble. But then when he was going almost at a Mark Burley type fast pace, was when he was pitching better.
Yeah, might be thinking about it too long.
1-1 pitch, bounced straight up into the air. Going to be a tough play for Clays. He'll make the throw to first base, and now they're going to try to go home. Great play as they throw it back to Binger, and he's out. And Jeff Athey, the first baseman for Eden Prairie, looks like he's shaken up over at first base. But a huge double play for Eden Prairie as that was bounced off home plate. Clays had to go out and make a tough play. Was able to gun one over to Jeff Athey. Then Athey, in turn, decided to throw home to Corey Binger after Kuznia tried to test his arm. But Kuznia was out by about 1.5 feet.
Yeah, that was an outstanding job by Clays, and then the awareness of Athey going back down the line. Perfectly executed as Binger came home from his pitcher position. Ball thrown up the line. Binger just stretches out the glove hand and able to apply the tag there to Kuznia, who, again, we were talking about at Wibben, was not running on a ball that was loose in the middle of the infields a couple plays ago. But then the aggressive nature of the Falcons came out there, and it cost them an out.
Coach Sobiek said it's a team that tries to put pressure on the defense through their base running, but boy, that's a tough decision when you just take that one out. You still would have had a runner on third base and one out in that situation, but those risks, sometimes they pay off and sometimes they don't.
At the same time, it did take perfect awareness and a perfect throw from Athey to make that play. And fortunately for Eden Prairie fans, he executed on both ends.
And it was Kuznia making the second out of the inning, and that goes with the old baseball saying that I know you love, where you don't want to make the first or the third out on a supposed dumb base running play.
Right.
But for some reason you can make the second out.
Yeah.
Swing and a miss there from Ricky Reed, and that'll do it here for the Falcons. Fooled them on that breaking pitch. Robbinsdale Armstrong gets back into the ball game as they cut the lead in half by scoring 2 runs here in the 4th inning on 3 hits. We'll take a timeout and have the bottom of the 4th up next here on PSB Media.
The playoffs are looming, and the impact of the regular season can take a toll on the body. At Performance Therapy Innovations, they can treat you or your Eagles for those nicks and ailments and help restore athletes physically and mentally for the most important time of the season. Performance Therapy Innovations will get you back to doing the things you love while minimizing your discomfort and maximizing your performance. Performance Therapy Innovations, helping Eagle athletes unleash their full potential. Located off Valley View Road and 169, online at pti-tc.com.
Get active this summer. I-9 Sports offers youth sports leagues, camps, and clinics for boys and girls ages 3 to 17 in today's most popular sports like flag football, soccer, basketball, t-ball, and cheerleading. At the end of the day, it's not the sports that makes the difference. It's the experience you and your child take away from the game. That's why I-9 Sports operates their leagues very differently from others. They operate on their 5 core principles: fun, being inclusive, safety, good sportsmanship, and healthy competition. Learn more at i9sports.com.
The Sun Current is proud to be your community news leader for over 50 years. Each week you can read their in-depth coverage on local government, school district news, high school sports matchups, community events, and newsmakers. The Sun Current's website is now mobile user-friendly and provides breaking local news coverage daily. Check it out at current.mnsun.com.
Welcome back here to PSB Media as that pitch is swung on from Ryan Zimmerman into foul territory in right field. It'll be out of the reach of Ouellette and Wasner, the first baseman. So a long strike one to Zimmerman. Again, Kevin, if I say Jordan Zimmerman, go ahead and whack me or something, or throw something at me from the press box.
Yeah, I'll need a bendable, like, feather pen or something to reach you. But I fly a kite towards you.
You just about could in this weather. Again, just to describe the situation, I'm actually down in the stands here calling the game while Kevin's up in the press box. Zimmerman will drive one out to center field, backpedaling a couple of steps. Is Wibben, as he'll make the catch for out number 1. Corey Binger will step in here for Eden Prairie. RBI double back in the first inning and was robbed back in the second inning. Had the bases loaded and hit a line drive towards right field, but it was a great diving catch made by Jake Wasner for a big out for Armstrong. Binger swings at the first pitch, and it'll bounce over the glove. Bachmeyer into left field, as it'll be a one-out single here for Corey Binger.
In other words, Corey Binger should be 3 for 3, and where he's struggled at times on the mound today, he's made up for with his vision at the plate and ability to put good contact on the pitches offered by Kuznia. Would you agree with that?
I would most certainly agree. And a good job by Binger on that pitch to stay patient. It was another slow breaking ball from Kuznia, but he was able to ground it down the third base line, and would have been a tough play from Bachmeyer, as he had to just bounce over his glove trying to make that diving stop. That pitch will miss outside to Jack Clays for ball one.
Middle infield playing at double play depth. Clays has hit into a couple this year.
Those stats courtesy of Eden Prairie coach John Butine, and I don't love that. Not a lot of coaches keep track of ground into double play stats, but how many does he have, Kevin? I didn't even realize we had that on our sheet.
Looks like 2.
There's the 1-0 pitch, slow breaking ball, and Binger will be aboard over at second base. Pretty good throw from J.D. Weiss on that slow breaking ball, but it was a little bit offline, as that will allow Binger to be safe.
Just an excellent jump by Binger, read that pitch, and since it was an off-speed pitch as well, had a little bit of extra time to try to outrun the throw from J.D. Weiss at the catcher position.
So Binger will be over at second base with 1 out. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Jack Clays, and that one misses. Count now 3-0. No action in the Armstrong bullpen. We don't have the pitch count, but seems like Kuznia at this point has probably thrown at least 70 pitches.
I would agree
that
with
3-0
that.
pitch is outside for ball 4.
Binger did all that running, got his jersey dirty, just to end up at second base anyway, right?
Jack Sullivan will hit for Eden Prairie. The Eagles will have a courtesy run over at first base for Clays. That will be Colton Simmer. And now we're going to get a conference on the mound. While they do that, again, I'd like to remind you about Prop's Summer Food for Kids program. Again, it's an interesting issue that I guess it's sometimes easy to overlook, where you have kids who are on free and reduced price lunches, where a lot of the time the only meal they get all day is that school lunch. And of course, when it's summer, they don't get that meal. But Prop's Summer Food for Kids program tries to fill that gap. It's a food shelf over in Eden Prairie, located off Highway 5 in Mitchell. They're looking for, I believe, peanut butter, mac and cheese, as well as some canned, I believe, tuna are some of those items that they're looking for. So feel free to drop that off at Prop, a great food shelf here in AP. We're located off Mitchell and Highway 5. Find more information, propfood.org, or otherwise click on that big banner just above your game tracker screen, and we'll link over to that flyer to give you a little bit more information about that Summer Food for Kids program. But again, really make sure you support that, as it's a great program here from one of the nonprofits in EP, Prop, and their Summer Food for Kids program. Looks like we have a pitching change, Kevin, coming up. Another lefty entering the ball game here for the Falcons, as I believe it will be number 17, Jack Wibben, moving into the mound. Go ahead and take a very brief timeout and come on back. This is the state tournament from Midway Stadium in St. Paul on PSB.
Get active this summer. I-9 Sports offers youth sports leagues, camps, and clinics for boys and girls ages 3 to 17 in today's most popular sports like flag football, soccer, basketball, t-ball, and cheerleading. At the end of the day, it's not the sports that makes the difference. It's the experience you and your child take away from the game. That's why I-9 Sports operates their leagues very differently from others. They operate on their 5 core principles: fun, being inclusive, safety, good sportsmanship, and healthy competition. Learn more at i9sports.com.
Now's the time to think green. Springtime lawns and savings. The Mulch Store is a great community resource for landscaping products and landscaping materials. Known for having the best compost in the Midwest, the Mulch Store can be found online at mulchstoremn.com. Browse and buy mulch, soils, grass seed, rocks, edging, and more. Everything you need to make your neighbors green with envy. mulchstoremn.com.
Store locations in Burnsville, Minnetrista, Rosemount, and Shakopee.
Midway Stadium, Jack Wibben, the new pitcher here for Robbinsdale Armstrong, taking over for Kuznia. He'll be facing Jack Sullivan. As Sullivan fouled one back for strike one. One out, runners on first and second base. Wibben's delivery, Sullivan lines one up the middle. It will go off the glove of the shortstop Ricky Reed. They'll throw over to first base, but in safely is Jack Clays. So bases loaded as Sullivan in back-to-back plate trips hits line drives up the middle. This time Reed couldn't quite make the play. Would have been a spectacular catch if he had made it.
It was a good read, just couldn't come down with it, and given his position back to the infield, splayed out on the dirt, could not make a play over to second base to his shortstop covering over there, Ricky Reed.
I was going to say, did you just plan that one, that Ricky Reed got a good read on that ball?
No, that was an accidental.
Okay.
Or that was a Mike Peden type comment.
One of our other play-by-play announcers here on PSB. Here's an 0-1 pitch to Jeff Athey. A little bit late as he fouls that one into the left field stands. 0-2 now the count to the left-hander Athey.
If you're keeping track of players on the field, Mike Arnost took over for Wibben in center field as Wibben again came in from center field to pitch. The odd man out then is Kuznia, the pitcher.
That's what I was thinking. I hadn't written that down on my scorebook as well, so I'll cheat off of you and write that down. So Arnost out in center field. 1-2 pitch to Jeff Athey. Swing and a miss. A nasty breaking ball from Wibben for strike three, and that's a big out as Eden Prairie had the bases loaded and only one out, but it's a K. As now it will be Aaron Kerber stepping in for the Eagles. Let's see if we can pull up some numbers here on Wibben. He has an ERA of 3.652, 23 innings pitched. Has struck out 21 hitters in 23 innings, so certainly a good guy to have in a situation when you have the bases loaded and less than 2 outs, as he was able to get that strikeout against Athey.
Yeah, the biggest knock on him is the base on balls issued, 13 in those 23 innings.
Ball one was just delivered to Kerber, and here's the second pitch. That one finds the inside part of the plate for strike one. Kerber 2 for 2 in the game, including an RBI triple last inning. 5-3 our score in favor of the Eagles, as late on that fastball was Aaron Kerber for strike two. Again, Wibben just entering the ball game, and Kevin looks like he can really mix up those pitches with a fastball that's got a little heat on it and a good slow breaking ball.
We'll see what he offers here.
1-2 pitch goes to the breaking pitch, but misses outside for ball two.
Eden Prairie only has a 2-run lead, but all afternoon long they've been threatening. This is their third consecutive inning where they've had the bases loaded.
There's the 2-2 pitch. Kerber swings and misses a good fastball from Wibben, as the Armstrong fans give him a round of applause, and he certainly deserves it. After 4 innings, we are Eden Prairie 5, Robbinsdale Armstrong 3. We'll have the 5th inning up next here on PSB Media.
It's every kid's favorite time of year. But for over 1,000 Eden Prairie kids, no school means missing the only consistent meal they may get all day. But one of our Eden Prairie nonprofits is changing that. Catherine Keeler of Prop tells us about their Summer Food for Kids program and how you can help.
The Summer Food for Kids program is a really important program that we have here. Did you know that 23% of the kids who attend schools here in Eden Prairie qualify for free or reduced price lunches? And during the summer, those kids are home. And so our program helps fill that gap and helps provide about 2 weeks' worth of groceries during the summer for those kids.
As for the types of foods Prop needs you to donate,
We got a grant that's helping us purchase a lot of perishable items, so fruits and vegetables and yogurts, cheeses and meats. But we need some help with some of those more non-perishable items. And the top 5 items we're looking for are canned chicken, canned tuna, mac and cheese, peanut butter, and canned pastas like canned ravioli.
and if you'd like to make a donation to the Summer Food for Kids program,
You can drop it off right here at Prop. We're at 14700 Martin Drive in Eden Prairie, and it's right off of Highway 5 and Mitchell Road.
again, that's the Prop Summer Food for Kids program. For more information, visit propfood.org.
Welcome back here to Midway Stadium, as leading off for Armstrong will be the top of the order, Corey Gilbert, as he swings and misses at a first pitch offering from Binger. Here's pitch number 2, a ground ball to the second baseman, Wassenauer. Easy play as he flips it over to Athey. One down as he is able to retire Gilbert on just 2 pitches. Let's get you a line here on Kuznia, the pitcher from Robbinsdale Armstrong, who left the game last inning. 3 1/3 inning, 5 earned runs, had 4 strikeouts, and still trying to tally up how many hits he gave up. I believe it was 7.
Gave up.
Or 8 of them.
He gave up 7.
Right,
Sullivan's hit was against Wibbin, so you're right.
All right, very good. So again, Kuznia came into the game having only given up 7 earned runs, and the Eagles were able to tack 5 more onto that total. Here's the pitch to Robbinsdale Armstrong hitter Josh Thorpe, and misses up high as it's now 2-0. Binger's delivery, fastball, finds the outside corner of the plate for strike 1. Overcast skies here at Midway Stadium this afternoon. 2-1 pitch just misses. Binger again trying to go for that outside corner. And kind of a cloudy day all day here in the Twin Cities. Very cool day with temperatures just sitting in the 60s. Almost sweatshirt weather here in June. 3-1 pitch to Binger. That one's driven out to center field, and it will just fall in front of Mark Gasner. Took one hop and almost hit Gasner in the face as he came close to making that catch. But instead it'll be a 1-out single here for Josh Thorpe.
Can't stress this enough. The leadoff batter has been very successful at reaching base safely in this game. Eden Prairie able to get their leadoff batter aboard 3 separate times, and now back-to-back innings where the Falcons have done the same.
Oh, nearly. That was actually a 1-out single. As that fastball is outside to Troy Ouellette. You're just forgetting because Corey Gilbert grounded out only 2 pitches.
I am forgetting that.
If you're going to get me on Jordan Zimmerman, I got to get you on that.
Yeah, I'll accept it. I'll accept me trying to keep track of several things up here and missing that.
I'm playing the world's smallest violin. Here's the 0-1 delivery from Binger to Ouellette. Actually, umpire calls time at the last second. Binger actually delivered a pretty good-looking fastball, but it won't matter as the umpire had called time. Count will remain 0-1. Oh, 0-1 delivery, ground ball to the second baseman, Wassenauer. Has a look at second base, but then decides to flip it over to Athey. So Thorpe will advance over to second on the 4-3 putout. 2 outs here for the Falcons, as now it'll be Matt Bachmeyer up at the plate here for the Falcons. Bachmeyer, the leading RBI guy for the Falcons, is 0 for 1 with a run scored. He walked last inning and had Armstrong's second run. Binger able to get an off-speed pitch in there for strike one. Bachmeyer with 19 RBI for Armstrong. Hitting in that cleanup spot. Here's Binger's pitch. Bachmeyer will whack it out to left field, and unable to make a diving catch is Jack Sullivan. As the run will come in to score, Bachmeyer's going to try to dig for second. He's in there as the throw goes past Wassenauer, but good job there by the first baseman Jeff Athey to back it up. It'll be an RBI double for Bachmeyer as the Falcons now made it a one-run game.
Yeah, nice solid stroke there. Bachmeyer, leading RBI guy for the Falcons, came up in a big situation there. Had a chance with a runner in scoring position to do some damage and did just that. Now it's a 5-4 difference.
And both those hits that Armstrong have had this inning have been line drives to the outfield that have just fallen in front of Eden Prairie outfielders. Josh Thorpe reached a line drive that fell just in front of Mark Gasner. Backed it, bounced so close that on the hop it nearly hit Gasner in the face. But on that last RBI double from Bachmeyer, Sullivan tried to make a diving catch. Came up short. And that's how Armstrong's gotten their run on the board here in the fifth inning. A couple of close balls to that outfield, but they paid off here for the Falcons. That one skied a mile into the air out to right field. Camping under it to make the catch is Matt Cheeseman, and that'll do it for Armstrong here in the fifth inning, but they edge a little closer and trail now just 5-4. This is state tournament coverage of high school baseball here on PSB.
The Sun Current is proud to be your community news leader for over 50 years. Each week you can read their in-depth coverage on local government, school district news, high school sports matchups, community events, and newsmakers. The Sun Current's website is now mobile user-friendly and provides breaking local news coverage daily. Check it out at current.mnsun.com.
Active this summer, I-9 Sports offers youth sports leagues, camps, and clinics for boys and girls ages 3 to 17 in today's most popular sports like flag football, soccer, basketball, t-ball, and cheerleading. At the end of the day, it's not the sports that makes the difference, it's the experience you and your child take away from the game. That's why I-9 Sports operates their leagues very differently from others. They operate on their 5 core principles: fun, being inclusive, safety, good sportsmanship, and healthy competition. Learn more at i9sports.com.
Now's the time to think green. Springtime lawns and savings. The Mulch Store is a great community resource for landscaping products and landscaping materials. Known for having the best compost in the Midwest, the Mulch Store can be found online at mulchstoremn.com. Browse and buy mulch, soils, grass seed, rocks, edging, and more. Everything you need to make your neighbors green with envy. mulchstoremn.com.
Store locations in Burnsville, Minnetrista, Rosemount, and Shakopee.
Welcome back here to Midway Stadium in St. Paul as leading things off here for the Eagles. Going to be Matt Cheeseman. It'll be the 6, 7, and 8 hitters. Cheeseman, Wassenauer, and Parrish. The lefty Wibben delivers, and that one just inside to Matt Cheeseman. Good off-speed pitch as Cheeseman was way out in front of that. Even things up here at 1. Another slow breaking ball, but that one misses up high for ball 2.
Rubin's done a nice job since coming on in that home half of the 4th inning, striking out Athey and Kerber with the bases loaded.
Now Eden Prairie trying to give Armstrong a little bit of a taste of their own medicine as Cheeseman, the big man linebacker, bunted one down the third baseline, but it just went foul.
That's like saying an offensive lineman do ballet or something, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Very contrasting styles in what you'd think of a linebacker. Trying to lay down a bunt in baseball.
Here's the pitch to Cheeseman as he's able to foul that one back. Remember Matt Cheeseman back during the football season did an excellent job at linebacker for Eden Prairie on that stout state championship defense. Don't have the exact stats, but I would have to think he was among the top 3 tacklers on the team. There's a 2-2 pitch to Cheeseman as he'll bounce that foul down the first baseline.
I know he had at least one interception as well. I think every linebacker on the team ended up with an interception during the season.
It's funny, I'm trying to remember who all the linebackers were on the football team, and Bill Hall was one of them, wasn't he?
Heller was one.
2-2 pitch fastball, just misses inside. 3-2 now to count.
Johnny Heller?
Yeah, Heller was one. His grandmother, I believe, emailed us a number of times throughout the season. 3-2 pitch to Cheeseman. That'll be fielded on 2 hops by the second baseman for Robbinsdale Armstrong. Thorpe able to throw out Cheeseman for out number 1.
It's funny how 6 months later we can't remember any names.
Oh, exactly. We had first and almost second string memorized on that EP football team, but now we can hardly remember anyone. By the way, as we were talking about, as Johnny Heller's grandmother emailed us a number of times during the fall. You can also email us here in the broadcast booth during the game or at psbchannel2@gmail.com. Can't remember that? Just click on that email the broadcaster booth link and we'll read your messages on air. Also tweet at us. We're at PSBMN. Here's the 0-1 delivery to Josh Wassenauer as he comes up empty on that swing on that breaking pitch. Count now 0-2. The 0-2 pitch just misses as now 1-2 the count.
Wibben on that delivery really opened up the off-pitching shoulder, and that ball just sailed on him.
Outside misses as count now goes 2-2.
He's not following through with that pitching arm on the last 2 throws, and they've been outside.
That time he follows through and just misses inside. Close pitch, count now 3-2 to Wassenauer. Just getting a piece was Wassenauer. We'll do it again here on a full count pitch.
I wonder if he has a tell with that off-speed pitch, because those first 2 balls, he didn't quite close up as much, and they were both off-speed, and the last few have been fastballs.
And Wassenauer putting up a good battle here as he is able to foul off another pitch. Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on him. Perhaps kind of tipping his pitches, as you were saying.
Yeah.
3-2 delivery, and that was a slow breaking ball that bounced in the dirt.
Doesn't look like he has the tip necessarily, because that one he closed up. He just overthrew it and went down in the dirt.
Michael Parrish will step in for EP. He's 0 for 1. Also hit by a pitch back in the second inning. Looks like Armstrong will stick with Wibben for the foreseeable future. No one else warming up in that bullpen. I always wonder this about high school pitchers, where if you're one of those guys who comes in from a different fielding position and go into the mound, if that affects you at all in terms of your warm-up pitches. Or, in most cases, you get to go in the bullpen and warm up for a couple of minutes. If you're a fielder like Wibben, you go directly from center field and get just, those 10 warm-up pitches, and that's it. Skied way up into the air. We'll have to see if they have room. First baseman Wassner is able to get it just a couple of steps away from his own dugout, as that's out number 2.
Wassner's done a nice job today. Had to roam very close to the shin guards and legs of the Eden Prairie Eagles players right along this right side dugout. Reached out and made that snag earlier in this game. Remember, although awkwardly able to secure a ball falling to the grass on a ball tailing away from him in foul territory.
Back to the top of the order here with Ryan Zimmerman. 2 outs, Wassenaar, the runner at first base. We're in the bottom of inning number 5 with the Eagles out in front of the Falcons 5-4 here on PSP Media. Should Eden Prairie win, we might have coverage of tomorrow's game. Still trying to work on that. Just take a look at our website either by late tonight or tomorrow morning, and we'll make sure we tweet about that as well as to whether we'll have the game or not for you. But should they make the state championship, you'll be able to find that over on Prep 45. 0-1 the count here to Ryan Zimmerman.
Well, 2 of the other top 4 seeds in 3A looked awfully good today, with Lakeville North winning 10-0 over Brainerd, and Mounds View, courtesy of Sam Henches, winning 4-0 over Elk River.
There's a pop-up to Wassner, and again he makes a good running snag. Back-to-back putouts for the Robbinsdale Armstrong first baseman in foul territory, and the Eagles are retired here in the bottom of the 5th. 5 complete. It's Eden Prairie out in front of Armstrong, 5-4 here on PSB Media.
It's every kid's favorite time of year. But for over 1,000 Eden Prairie kids, no school means missing the only consistent meal they may get all day. But one of our Eden Prairie nonprofits is changing that. Catherine Keeler of Prop tells us about their Summer Food for Kids program and how you can help.
The Summer Food for Kids program is a really important program that we have here. Did you know that 23% of the kids who attend schools here in Eden Prairie qualify for free or reduced price lunches? And during the summer, those kids are home. And so our program helps fill that gap and helps provide about 2 weeks' worth of groceries during the summer for those kids.
As for the types of foods Prop needs you to donate,
we got a grant that's helping us purchase a lot of perishable items, so fruits and vegetables and yogurts and cheeses and meats. But we need some help with some of those more non-perishable items. And the top 5 items we're looking for are canned chicken, canned tuna, mac and cheese, peanut butter, and canned pastas like canned ravioli.
And if you'd like to make a donation to the Summer Food for Kids program,
you can drop it off right here at Prop. We're at 14700 Martin Drive in Eden Prairie, and it's right off of Highway 5 and Mitchell Road.
Again, that's the Prop Summer Food for Kids program. For more information, visit propfood.org.
Welcome back here to Midway Stadium in St. Paul as a cool breeze comes through the ballpark. Made me shiver a little bit. Arnost will step in for the first time for Armstrong. Mike Arnost. He entered the game a couple of innings ago for the pitcher Kuznia. Arnost playing out in center field, though, as the prior center fielder Jake Wibben moved to the mound. Binger's pitch misses for ball 1 here to Arnost. Give you some numbers on him. A .222 batting average in just 41 at-bats. Does have 1 stolen base, but surprisingly for the little he's played, he actually has 10 runs scored. It's actually a pretty good percentage, Kevin, if you have less than 50 at-bats but 10 runs scored. Swing and a miss from Arnost. Well, actually, you got a piece of it, but won't matter. It was fouled. 1-2 now the count.
I'd say so. It's a lot better than the ratios of Eden Prairie's base runners, at least. They've left 8 runners on base so far in this game. That's part of the difference in this ball game. Could be a bigger differential.
Strike 3 against Arnost. They'll bounce into the dirt as Clays is able to pick it up and throw him out. Yeah, Kevin, we were running some numbers earlier as Eden Prairie. This could be a storyline should Armstrong come back and win. Eagles just 1 for 5 with the bases loaded in this game.
Yeah, and with those 8 left on base, compare that to just 2 left on base for Armstrong. And I know a little bit of that is deceptive, Brett, with that 2-3-1 double play you had with the runner Kuznia trying to score from home on a ground ball out in front of Clays, for instance. But still, 8-2 is a big difference.
John Nelson, the hitter for Armstrong, as that fastball misses up high. Count now 1-1. Falcons, though, are starting to run out of outs. We're here in the top of the 6th inning, and the Falcons only have 5 more outs to work with as they trail by a run. Binger will miss outside, 2-1 now the count.
Periodically in this game, ever since Binger gave up those 2 runs in the 4th inning, we've seen guys warming up along the right side for the Eagles. No one out there now.
Looks like Binger may have found a second wind as he's starting to get in a groove as he coaxes a swing and a miss. Here to John Nelson, 2-2 now the count. Nelson gets a piece of it as he slices one foul down the right field line.
Nelson had a big hit his last at-bat. With the bases loaded, produced that RBI base hit over shortstop's head.
Called third strike. That one catches the inside corner. Awfully close pitch, but it's a called third strike. Back-to-back Ks here for Binger. And that will be Jake Losner stepping in here for Armstrong. Overall for Binger, that's his, I believe, just 4th strikeout of the game, if I'm looking at my stats correctly.
That's what I have. Nothing in the first or second. 4 since.
It's interesting for Binger because he's a guy who has a little over 48 innings pitched and 49 strikeouts. So a little behind his average of 1 strikeout per inning, but overall a decent game. Probably not thrilled having given up those 4 runs, but has done enough to give his team a 1-run lead. Strike 1 was just delivered to Jake Losner. First baseman who's had a real nice game in the field with a couple of nice putouts. Losner way late on that fastball, 0-2.
Also has a base hit, was caught stealing in the second and grounded into that 2-3-1 double play in the 4th.
2 outs, nobody on base. Here's the 0-2 pitch from Corey Binger. And just getting a piece of it was Losner. We'll do it again. We're just south of the State Fairgrounds here in St. Paul. In fact, I can see the Lee and Rose Warner Coliseum just beyond the distance, after they played a number of section hockey games. There's a line drive out to center field from Losner. He's now 2 for 3 as he gets a 2-out single.
Yeah, we've seen both of these teams very patient at the plate and going the other way, as you know, fundamentally you're taught with 2 strikes on you. And Losner, again, it'll just drop the bat head out over the plate, get a good contact on that, and rip it above the head of Ryan Zimmerman, that shortstop.
Ricky Reed up at the plate here for the Falcons. Sacrifice bunt back in the 2nd inning, and struck out in the 4th inning. Actually, check that. We'll have a pinch hitter coming in for the Falcons, as it'll be number 24, Mike Zazeski, pinch hitting.
What impresses me most about Zazeski is that on-base percentage. If you have that in front of you, Brett, .442 actually is good for 3rd best on the team.
I could certainly use him getting on base. Here with a runner on first base, 2 outs in the 6th inning, trailing by 1 run. But there's a comebacker to Binger, but he drops the ball. Still will make the throw to first base, and it's in time for the out. So good recovery there from Corey Binger. And that'll do it here for Armstrong in the 6th inning. 1 hit, they leave 1 runner on base. After 5.5, it's Eden Prairie ahead of the Falcons, 5-4 here on PSB Media.
Woohoo! This is the best dirt bath ever!
Larry, what's with all that racket?
I'm loving my new digs. This compost is amazing. Come on in, give it a try.
What are you talking about? Oh yeah, you weren't kidding, Larry. This stuff is great.
The Mulch Store has compost your garden, and yes, even the worms will love. Stop by any of the Mulch Store locations in Burnsville, Minnetrista, Rosemount, and Shakopee to pick up the best compost in the Midwest. Online at mulchstoremn.com. Also shop rocks, seed, soil, edging, and more. Now's the time to make your neighbors green with envy.
Store locations in Burnsville, Minnetrista.
It's every kid's favorite time of year. But for over 1,000 Eden Prairie kids, no school means missing the only consistent meal they may get all day. But one of our Eden Prairie nonprofits is changing that. Catherine Keeler of Prop tells us about their Summer Food for Kids program and how you can help.
The Summer Food for Kids program is a really important program that we have here. Did you know that 23% of the kids who attend schools here in Eden Prairie qualify for free or reduced price lunches? And during the summer, those kids are home. And so our program...
Back here at Midway Stadium as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. It'll be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters for the Eagles, Binger, Clays, and Jack Sullivan. Here's a delivery from Wibben. Bouncer to third base. Bachmeier's going to have to make a long throw in time as he throws out Binger. Route number 1. Good throw there from the big third baseman for Armstrong.
That was a great play. Went all the way into the hole down the third base line. High hop, spun around and fired a strike over to the first baseman.
Jack Clays will step in for EP. 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout. Also a run scored. Slow breaking ball finds the outside part of the plate. Again, Wibben, a guy who strikes out a lot but also walks a number of hitters. There's a ground ball up the middle, pass to diving Ricky Reed. And it's a 1-out single here for Jack Clays. By the way, if you're keeping track, that'll be Ricky Reed, who it looks like will re-enter the game for Shiseki, who pinch hit for him last inning. Taking advantage of the re-entry rule. Here's the pitch to Jack Sullivan, and that's ball 1. To the Eden Prairie hockey player who apparently likes playing in St. Paul no matter what sport it is. He had 2 goals in the state quarterfinal for Eden Prairie last winter, and so far in this game has 2 hits and a run scored, as well as an RBI.
He and Jack Clays have had fine afternoons today. Meat of their order, the 3 and 4 hitters combined for 4 hits and 2 of those runs.
Runner on first base, 1 out. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Awkward swing from Jack Clays. Good job by Wibben to fool him on that off-speed pitch. 1-2. Certainly see by why Wibben's a guy who averages more than a strikeout per inning. Has good zip on his fastball and also has a very deceptive slow breaking ball. ERA just a hair above 3. And 1-2 pitch on the way here to, actually they'll throw over to first base. Back safely though is Clays. All the seniors on this Eden Prairie team graduated this past Friday, according to Coach John Butine. All 12 seniors graduated.
That's good.
Well, I don't imagine they'd be playing in a state tournament if they hadn't graduated.
Yeah.
State High School League might frown on that. A couple of D1 players on the team. Clay is going to Northwestern and Corey Binger to Nebraska, Omaha. And just misses outside from Wibben for ball 2.
Another guy bound for university baseball at St. Thomas in the Twin Cities. Ryan Zimmerman, the closer, is warming up over on the right field line. Presumably to come in and hopefully for the Eagles close out this 5-4 victory.
Pitch missed inside as It'll be a full count here to Jack Sullivan. 1 out, runner on first base. Eden Prairie leads this game 5-4 over Armstrong. And now the umpire calls time. Ryan Zimmerman, as you said, Kevin, closer on the team, has 4 saves on the season. Taking over for the role that Dan Lotes had last season. He was the closer for the Eagles. And that pitched way outside for ball 4. As Clays is taking off on the pitch, but it won't matter as he'll get second base. Lotes was the closer on last year's team, but this season he stepped in as kind of a co-ace along with Corey Binger. Zimmerman was a starter on last year's Eden Prairie team, but now in that closer's role as well as a shortstop. Jeff Athey will be at the plate. Slow off-speed pitch will miss outside here in this lefty-on-lefty matchup. Athey 0 for 3 in the game. Strikeout. Actually, 1 for 3 with a run scored, I should say. Came around to score back in the 3rd inning. Part of that 4-run 3rd inning for the Eagles. Eden Prairie got 4 straight hits to lead off that 3rd inning. One pitch from Wibben. And swung on and missed by Athey. Going chasing on that high fastball. Clays, the runner at second base. Sullivan, the runner on first base. Athey was moved up to the varsity squad partway through this season. The only sophomore on the team. Other than that, it's all juniors and seniors here on this EP squad, but as Coach John Butine said, don't let that fool you. It's not necessarily an experienced team. It's just the nature of Eden Prairie. This could be a double play. Throw to second. They'll throw back to first in time. After the shortstop, Reed had a little trouble trying to transfer the ball from his glove to his hand. Play is made, though, as it's a double play here for Armstrong Falcons. Last chance for Armstrong to try to get this game tied up as we head to the 7th inning. Up next, it's Eden Prairie out in front, 5-4 here on PSB.
Stay current on what's going on in your local community. The Sun Current is a local community newspaper that serves several communities in the Southwest Metro, including Eden Prairie, Edina, and Bloomington. The Sun Current will keep you up to date with the latest comings and goings on your school board, city council, arts and entertainment, and community events. And make sure you check out their in-depth high school sports coverage featuring weekly articles on Eden Prairie, Edina, Jefferson, and Kennedy. From football and hockey to tennis and swimming, the Sun Current has your favorite team covered. Keep it local and visit the Sun Current website at current.mnsun.com.
Now's the time to think green. Springtime Lawns and Savings. The Mulch Store is a great community resource for landscaping products and landscaping materials. Known for having the best compost in the Midwest, the Mulch Store can be found online at mulchstoremn.com. Browse and buy mulch, soils, grass seed, rocks, edging, and more. Everything you need to make your neighbors green with envy. mulchstoremn.com.
Store locations in Burnsville, Minnetrista, Rosemount, and Shakopee.
We're back here at Midway Stadium. Last chance here for the Falcons as they'll have the top of the order coming up with Gilbert, Thorpe, and Olette. Binger will be out on the mound here for Eden Prairie to try to finish this one off. Closer Ryan Zimmerman, who is also playing shortstop, did do a little bit of throwing back in the bottom of the 6th inning, so presumably he would be ready if Binger were to find himself in trouble. Breaking ball catches the outside part of the plate here against the left-handed hitter Corey Gilbert for strike 1. It is thinking ahead, but they do go to Zimmerman on the mound. It would be interesting to see if they leave Binger in the game. And there's a base hit up the middle on one hop past the infield dirt. Good hard-hit ground ball from Corey Gilbert as he's aboard to lead things off. And that's big for Robbinsdale Armstrong as Gilbert has stolen 15 bases on the season. we'll have to see if they perhaps put him in motion. Josh Thorpe now up at the plate.
And for Gilbert, a nice time to come through with his first base hit of the day, leading off the top of the 7th inning in this single elimination quarterfinal.
As an important note to bring up, single elimination, different from the American Legion playoffs and the state high school section playoffs. Here in state baseball, you lose and you are done. So both teams presumably would pull out all the stops to try to get the win here on this Thursday afternoon. That pitch was fouled off by Thorpe. Count now 1-1. Binger will now throw over to first base. With it back safely is Corey Gilbert. Looks like Gilbert was kind of late getting back to first base, but Binger didn't put a lot of zip on that throw.
Well, that toss was soft toss in the backyard with the 5-year-old.
Here's the 1-1 delivery, and that one just misses outside. 2-1 now the count. Thorpe would be followed by Ouellette, and he would be followed by leading RBI guy Buckmeyer. So
the Falcons did a great job getting their top of their order in position to try to do something in this 7th inning.
Binger will check the speedy Corey Gilbert. That time it was a harder throw, but Gilbert quicker reacting, getting back to first base. And Gilbert, very much a stolen base threat over there at first. Here's the pitch to Thorpe. Rounded up the middle. This one could be 2, but it's too slow of a roller, as Zimmerman will have no choice but to make that throw over to first base. On the play, Gilbert will advance to second.
Brett, you called that out like it was very routine for Zimmerman. That ball had tons of backspin on it. Able to glove that one cleanly, make the exchange from the glove to the hand, and fire a dart from the hip over to first baseman Athey. That was a well-played ball and throw there by the shortstop.
Well, you're right on that, because initially I thought that ball was bouncing with a lot more speed than it had, but as you said, it kind of had some weird backspin, and you're absolutely correct. That was a very nice play from Zimmerman.
So maybe it was good he isn't in to close just yet.
So it'll be Gilbert at second base, 1 out. Ouellette's at the plate. Binger getting set for his own 1 delivery, and he'll step off the bag.
We're just tuning in again, 5-4, the tying run, 180 feet away.
0-1 pitch, and that one just misses inside. 2-1 now the count. Been kind of a long game so far. Game time now just over 2 hours here from Midway Stadium. Runner on second base, 1 out. 1-1 pitch on the way to Ouellette. And he hits a fly ball out to center field. Drifting back as Gassner. He's able to make the catch for the second out. And now the game is going to be on the line here for Armstrong, as it's certainly the guy you want up at the plate here in this situation. Matt Bachmeyer, the leading RBI man with 20. Will step on in with the base runner Gilbert at second base with good speed.
Exactly what you want if you're a fan, listener tuning in to our broadcast.
Especially, too, with Eden Prairie's best pitcher on the mound, Binger.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You beat me to it.
2 outs. Here's the pitch from Binger. Fastball down the middle for strike 1. Bachmeyer on the day is 1 for 2 with a run scored. Binger a long look in. Gets his sign from Clays, checks the runner. Here's the pitch. And a nasty pitch that paints the outside part of the plate for strike 2. Like almost a slide piece there from Binger.
They're looking for his 4th complete game of the season right here.
Here's the 0-2 pitch on the way to Bachmeyer. And that fastball misses up high for ball 1. So 1-2 will be the count to Matt Bachmeyer. Eden Prairie leads this game 5-4. Gilbert, the runner on second base, with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning. Game on the line here for both teams in this state quarterfinal. A 1-2 delivery on the way from Corey Binger. Swing and a miss. Clays will pick it up, make the throw to first base, and Eden Prairie is on the way to the state semifinals as they knock off Robbinsdale Armstrong by a score of 5-4. Take a timeout and have the Sun Current postgame show on the way next here on PSB Media.
The Sun Current is proud to be your community news leader for over 50 years. Each week you can read their in-depth coverage on local government, school district news, high school sports matchups, community events, and newsmakers. The Sun Current's website is now mobile user-friendly and provides breaking local news coverage daily. Check it out at current.mnsun.com.
Welcome back to Midway Stadium here in St. Paul as the Eden Prairie Eagles win their state quarterfinal game over Robbinsdale Armstrong by a score of 5-4. Postgame show here on PSB brought to you by the Sun Current, your local community news source for over 50 years in the Southwest Metro. Find news about high school sports, politics, school board news, and community events at current.mnsun.com. Now, Kevin, talked about how in the pregame both these teams kind of mirror images of each other, and well, if you look at the scoreboard, that was just about the case. Eagles with 5 runs, Armstrong with 4 runs. Eden Prairie and Armstrong both equaled each other with 9 hits. As pretty entertaining game here from both teams. Both teams had their staff aces on the mound, and they both struggled a little bit, but it was Eden Prairie able to cash in with that big 3rd inning where they scored 4 runs, as that proved to be the difference.
Yeah, Eden Prairie was able to get to the starting pitcher, Kuznia, who had been outstanding so far this season coming into the state tournament. Just an ERA just above 1. He just didn't have his stuff today. Eden Prairie, they did squander some opportunities. The 2nd, 3rd, and 4th inning had the bases loaded. Only in that 3rd inning were they able to plate some of those bases loaded runners. But again, I think getting early to Armstrong affected the game just enough, and Eden Prairie going into that second mode, that second strength, that second wind, whatever you want to call it, with Corey Binger finally figuring out where his stuff was, locating it a lot better in the later innings. Certainly proved enough this afternoon for the Eagles to secure this quarterfinal victory.
Yeah, again, talking about Corey Binger, certainly did not have his best stuff in the game, but was able to get it figured out later in the innings as he retired 7 of the last 9 hitters that he faced here in this ball game, and more importantly, did not give up any runs in that 6th and 7th inning. He had given up runs in the 2nd, 4th, and 5th innings in this game, so Binger will get the win, and presumably you would think he would not be available for a possible Saturday state championship, but suppose you never know. For Armstrong, again, the line here on Kuznia, he went 3 1/3 innings pitched, 5 earned runs, 4 strikeouts on, I believe it was 8 hits here against Eden Prairie. Binger's line, he had 4 strikeouts in the complete game, 7 innings, and also gave up 9 hits overall. Taking a look at, go ahead, Kevin.
I was just going to say, I think 2 big turning points, especially the one that affected Armstrong, and we can discuss it all afternoon. Fans can discuss, the what-if scenarios, but that decision to send Kuznia from 3rd base, or Arnost rather, he was the pinch runner for Kuznia, from 3rd base on that chopper out in front of home plate hit by Jake Wassner. It was a tough play for Clays. He made it down the first base line, getting it to Athey. Athey then threw back down toward home. Binger able to make that tag of Arnost and get that 2-3-1 double play to remove that runner from 3rd base. Had he not gone, there still would have only been 1 out in the inning with the guy just 90 feet away. At the time, the score was 5-3. So, it kind of goes with with the decisions, you can't really question your decision if you're Brian Sobiek and you're a coach that likes to be aggressive on the base paths, but at the same time, you wonder, now looking back, maybe if we didn't send that guy, this outcome could have been different.
Yeah, you and I had kind of a disagreement on that play. I was of the opinion that you got to keep him at third base in that situation, but you were saying they maybe could have sent him and gotten that run home had he taken off a little bit early, because you said he was starting to run after Clays had thrown the ball. If he had started running perhaps when Clays immediately had picked up the ball, he would have had a chance, but again, always easy to be that Monday morning quarterback.
Yeah, I think if the lead had been a little bit more extended from third base and trying to gauge what Clays was doing exactly and if he was going to be able to field it cleanly, I don't think he got a big enough lead to then warrant the decision to run home. But again, it's a bang-bang type play. It's a quick decision type play, and unfortunately for Armstrong, it just didn't work out. And that run was, as you look at it, you could say that run was the difference in the game. The final score was 5-4, but still don't want to take anything away from the coaching staff of either of these teams. A hard-fought game. They were almost mirror images of each other. Pretty good defense overall, some spectacular plays, timely hitting, and a good job of working through some issues for Corey Binger on the one side for Eden Prairie, and for Armstrong, while Kuznia didn't necessarily have it, Wibben came in from center field and did a heck of a job, bases loaded, just one out in that fifth inning, and able to strike out the next two batters.
And again, I think Armstrong, if they were going to lose this game, this would kind of be in the style they wanted, of having aggressive defense with good defense, putting pressure on the opposition. That's exactly what they did, but just came up a little bit short here in Eden Prairie, as they'll now be in the consolation bracket, where they will end up playing tomorrow at 12:30 at Siebert Field over in Minneapolis. They will face the loser of Lakeville South and Matamidi, who will play in just a few minutes. Eden Prairie, on the other hand, will play the winner, of course, of Lakeville South and Matamidi. That game will be tomorrow at 2:30 at Midway Stadium. And again, here on PSB, still trying to see if we can get coverage of that game. You can check back late tonight or perhaps tomorrow morning. We'll also tweet about that as well if we are able to bring it coverage. So just giving you the heads up on that if you're tuning in here to this afternoon's game. Kevin, got any final thoughts on this one before we wrap it up?
No, it's been fun coming back to the broadcast booth. First time covering a baseball game this spring, and got certainly a good ball game. Both teams gritted this one out, and fortunately for Eden Prairie fans, they live to see another day in this winner's bracket.
So again, if you're an Eden Prairie fan, check back tonight or tomorrow morning to see if we will have coverage of their state semifinal tomorrow at 2:30. But we don't see you again. It's been fun having these games all this year, as again, Eden Prairie gets a 5-4 victory over Robbinsdale Armstrong here on PSB. For Kevin Eggstrom, this is Brett Johnson signing off.
Thanks for tuning in to live local play-by-play coverage of Lake Conference High School sports. Make sure you check the schedule to see when your favorite team is playing next on PSBMN.com. You can find an archived broadcast of today's game online at PSBMN.com.